Recording in progress.
Good morning. I'd like to welcome everybody to the Tuesday, May 13th meeting of the St. Joseph County Board of Commissioners and call the meeting to order. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. First item on our agenda is approval of the accounts payable docket. Do we have a motion to approve?
Motion to approve.
Second?
We have a motion and a second. Commissioner Morton?
Aye.
Commissioner Baxmeyer?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Moving on to IPG, approval of the bid request for RNS 92502-S, resurfacing rehabilitation on various roads.
Good morning, Sky Matters, Department of Infrastructure Planning and Growth, offices on the 7th and 11th floor. What we are requesting is to permission to advertise in the Tribune and Mishawaka Enterprise for our 2025 subdivision package. It's for approximately 2 miles of roads in the subdivisions. Out of that 2 miles of roads, we're going to be doing streets in about 6 to 7 subdivisions, and that is all going to be through local funds. Be happy to answer any questions and request your approval, please.
Commissioner, any questions for Mr. Metters? Do we have a motion to approve the bid request to advertise?
Motion to approve.
Second?
We have a motion and a second. Commissioner Morton?
Aye.
Commissioner Baxmeyer?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Next is the Fillmore Road change order number 6.
This is the project we have going on out in the IEC area, Fillmore Road from Larison to the west. This change order is for some additional water main work that needed to be done to relocate a hydrant that was out there as part of this project. The increase for this change order is in the amount of $35,500, and it is about a 1.4% increase, this change order, and so far the total increase from change orders is 14.9%. I'd be happy to answer any questions and request your approval.
Guy, can you recap why we're at 14.9%? What was the big?
If the previously last week, I think it was, we did another change order, 1 through 5. That in itself included the addition of an access road for the building of an access road so that we could get access to some other areas out there while this project was going on, and then also for R&L carriers, make it easier for them to get in and out of their area, and for some other miscellaneous items. The big cost there was for that access road, and it's to the benefit of everyone out there right now. It's pretty helpful, especially to R&L carriers, to be able to get in and out while the construction's going on.
Thank you. Any other questions? If not, do we have a motion to approve change order number 6?
Motion to approve.
Second?
Motion and a second. Commissioner Morton?
Aye.
Commissioner Baxmeyer?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you. Terry, you're next.
Good morning. Terry O'Brien, Economic Development Planner. My office is on the 11th floor of this building. Before you today is a request for permission to rezone Board of Commissioners owned property at 56150 Larison Boulevard. We are preparing this along with an additional property along the Larison Road to the north and 2 properties along Fillmore Road. We are working with Lawson Fisher for this rezoning. The purpose of this rezoning is to dispose of this property. The property is currently zoned ag, so we wanted to dispose of the property as is industrial, to be sold to NIPSCO for a gas substation. If you have any questions, be happy to answer them.
We had talked about this previously and the need to have NIPSCO put their substation, if you will, on that site. Any questions? If not, do we have a motion to approve the request to rezone 56-150 Larison Boulevard from? Motion to approve. Second.
Been motion and a second. Commissioner Morton? Aye. Commissioner Baxmeyer?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Okay, the next item on your agenda, in addition to rezoning, we'd also like to replat this area. We'd like to establish an industrial park that could be utilized by suppliers for General Motors and Synergy Energy, along with other users in the Indiana Enterprise Zone. If you have any questions, wanted to point out to one of the reasons why we're platting this is it makes it a lot easier and cleaner to replat this than to go and have easements drawn through these properties for utilities. Any questions, be happy to answer.
And of course, this is in the IEC,
Correct?
and as you said, it paves the way for future growth in that area.
Correct. We would like to keep the suppliers within that area to keep down the trucking traffic versus having them be somewhere else and having to truck their parts and supplies to the IEC members.
Morton? There being no further questions, do we have approval for permission to request to replat that area to new industrial subdivision? Second.
Motion and a second. Commissioner Morton? Aye. Commissioner Baxmeyer?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thanks, Terry. Moving on to the JJC, approval of Johnson Controls Fire Protection Planned Service Agreement. That's a
morning.
renewal.
I'm Kristen Cooper, the controller for the Juvenile Justice Center located at 1000 South Michigan Street, South Bend. I am respectfully requesting renewal of the planned service agreement with Johnson Controls Fire Protection. This would cover our annual fire inspection of the fire alarm system for the facility, which is required by the National Fire Protection Agency, and the cost of this contract would be taken out of the lit fund. I would be happy to answer any questions.
Since this is a renewal, how does the cost of this compare to the previous period?
Actually, this one, I believe last year our cost was $28,000. After speaking with our maintenance, there were some services that we did not use last year that we did not feel were necessary. So the cost is almost $16,000 less than last year.
Good to know.
What were those services that you were paying for last year?
It was for repairs. It would cover all repairs if needed, but we've replaced so many fire alarms that we didn't think that cost was, we would use that much. And we also get a 20% discount for any repairs for this next year. So I did confer with maintenance, and they agreed that that was an unnecessary expenditure.
Thank you.
Appreciate your review and facilities
Thank you.
assistance with that. Any other questions, comments? If not, do we have approval of the Johnson Controls Fire Protection Plan Service Agreement?
Move for approval?
Second?
Motion and a second. Commissioner Morton?
Aye.
Commissioner Baxmeyer?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Next, IT, approval of the lease quote with Dell Financial Services for computers.
Morning, Commissioners. Richard Warfield, Director of IT, office across the street at Law Building, third floor. I am asking for approval for this lease from Dell Financial Services for our annual tech refresh. This is also part of the state QPA, so no need to get other bids for leasing in regards to it.
And if I'm reading this right, we're going to replace 173?
That is correct. And it's already been budgeted through the IT department.
And it's something we've been doing
Yes, each year.
continually
Yep,
as we refresh.
that is correct.
Mr. Morton, any questions?
No.
If not, do we have approval of the lease quote with Dell Financial Services for computers?
Move for approval.
Second?
Motion and a second. Commissioner Morton?
Aye.
Commissioner Baxmeyer?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you.
And the final item on our agenda this morning is approval of the consent agenda for physical assets. Motion to approve.
Second.
I made the motion to approve.
We have a
Kinda
motion and a
Threw you
second.
a curveball there.
Did. Commissioner Morton?
Aye.
Commissioner Baxmeyer?
Aye.
Motion carries.
That finishes our agenda. Moving on to public comments.
Morning, Commissioners. Dan Caruso, New Carlisle. I thank you for your work. Mr. Morton, thank you for attending the hearing over at, the item hearing over at New Prairie High School last week. And Phil Garrett also, good to see you guys there. Glad you were attended. I want to speak on an item on the, with a first reading with the County Council tonight, Bill 4225, which is a rezoning of the approximately 1,050 acres on the north side of US 20. We're not questioning whether the family has a right to market their property. The big problem I've got with it, and a lot of other people have with it, is we've just spent better part of 3 years putting together a new county comprehensive land use plan. And in that plan, with community input, that area is designated as an intensive agricultural area. That means pretty much exclusive farming to me. That's what I read in that. And the folks who want to sell their land, they're right. They can sell that land. But we have, I understand, Mr. Shalio will tell you, well, that's not a rule. The land use plan isn't a rule, it's a guide. Well, I'm sorry, but it's a guide that the community gave you on what we want to see in our community and not be overrun with just rampant industrial type growth. And I think it's best if you can use your influences with the people who will be having this vote eventually down the road, to say, listen to the people in this instance, at least here. You're going to surround us with all this industrial growth that is, number one, is going to deplete our water. We're already having water issues. And this is going to be, they've got to cool their servers just like the people down at Amazon will have to do. This is going to be a water issue. We designated it as intensive agriculture, leave it intensive agriculture, or have the new user who's going to purchase that property commit to abiding by the covenants of the area that we have in place. Thank you.
John Murphy, County Auditor on the second floor. This is more of an informational update. Due to the passing of the state legislation on property taxes, our office, and I'm sure the assessor's office, has received a lot of influx of calls. So Abby has been working with the assessor's office and Frank Fotia to develop a new website. It's to add a notification option to Civic Ready, which is part of the website. On the home page of the county website, there is a button called Stay Connected. Residents can now sign up to receive notifications of property tax and assessment news and alerts. Residents will receive updates via email from our office, as well as the assessor's office as we receive them from the state. So I think this is a good idea, and something we appreciate Frank helping us out with this. if you have any, there, Frank and Abby and Mike Castellana are all here if you had any questions about it. I don't deserve any of the credit. I didn't really work on this at all, but they did a good job on it. For questions about property taxes, please contact our office. Its telephone number, 574-235-9668, and option 3 is for property taxes. So I just wanted to make that public service announcement.
Thank you.
Mr. Murphy, I would be remiss if I didn't say, and you included, John, thank you for coming up with this protocol, and people can know that they can contact our county offices, you know, via the website or whatever, because this Senate Bill 1 is, well, I won't say what it is.
It's a challenging bill. Yes.
Yeah, it's a challenging bill, thank you. But all kidding aside, thank you for this. That's very innovative, and it should prove to be very beneficial, so I appreciate it.
Abby, Mike, and Frank really deserve the credit, but we appreciate that.
We appreciate that. Do you want to add anything, Mike? Good.
Please use it. Please use the program. That's what it's for.
I guess my question becomes, how are we going to ensure that our constituents know that this is available? Because I mean, it's a heck of a tool, but I think in a lot of cases, a lot of people will not even know that it's available.
Hi, Abby Doyle, Chief Deputy Auditor. So Mike Castellan has some town hall meetings coming up, and so there will be some flyers. Those that are tech savvy can use a QR code, and it'll get them right directly to the spot where they can just put in their email address and then select the notification that they would like. The new option would be property tax and assessor updates and alerts. That's what Frank has been so helpful with, is adding that notification option. If you don't want the other options that you can select, which is like traffic alerts and other options that the St. Joseph County already provides for our taxpayers, you don't have to. But by checking the little box for the property tax and assessors updates and alerts and putting in your email, as the auditor's office and assessor's office gets guidance from the state on relating to any property tax or assessor information moving forward, as we receive it, then the taxpayer that signed up for this will get that information. A good example would be, I personally have gotten some questions about over 65 income limits. We know in SB 1, those income limits are changing, and they are understandably asking, when can I come in and apply? Well, the state forms aren't available yet, and DLGF, the Department of Government Finance, is actively working on what these procedures are going to look like moving forward. So once we get that information from DLGF and we now know that the state form is available, then those people that have signed up for email notifications will be the first to know. That's just one way. Other ways that we can let the community know is through these town halls that Mike Castellan and his team have set up, press releases, and I think it's going to be a dual effort with commissioners and maybe even county council to help get the news out to the community. It's just a lot of information for everybody.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Frank, did you want to add anything to? I saw you jump up, so I thought maybe you.
Just wanted to make sure, really don't, but as she mentioned, there are other things you can sign over to. It is right on the homepage of our website. So if you don't have the opportunity to go to one of the assessor's town halls that he's holding or come into the building, that is on our website, sjcindiana.gov. Stay connected is the button. Just click there and you can sign up for any of those distribution lists. So when we have information, we can share it then to the public on that. And of course, it'll all go out on our social media and website and other avenues through press releases as well.
And the first town hall is Saturday, the 14th? 17th, excuse me. 17th at Howard Park. At time? 10 o'clock. Thank you. Anyone else in the room wish to offer a comment? If not, I see one hand up so far, two hands up. I guess that's Steve Francis is first.
Yes, hello, good morning, Commissioners. Thank you for taking comment. I want to talk about the meeting yesterday, and I appreciate Commissioners Baxmeyer and Morton and Mr. Garrett talking to us about that. I only saw it over the weekend, and it was properly noticed as far as I can tell, although the county council didn't post it on their website, but I don't think that's a big issue. I think one thing I'd like to say is that it should be a rare occurrence that we see a quorum or greater of one body, let alone two bodies, meeting in secret or in executive session. And I think it relates to two items in the Open Door Act, which I'm researching with folks downstate, organizations and individuals that I'm in contact with. I'm not prepared to say that you acted in violation of the open door policy, but I think in spirit, it was a very inopportune time given the controversies of what's going on in this county regarding development, industrial development, and big companies coming in and converting ag land to industrial land. I think that there are two issues that are of concern. One is that you're meeting with more than a quorum of each of the bodies, the decision-making bodies, which are supposed to be separation of powers between the commissioners who oversee day-to-day functions and the county council, which is more of a legislative function. And I think there's the issue of executive session, whether you complied with both of those in spirit and letter of the law. But one thing that's clear, there are issues before the council and before yourselves that you are going to decide on. In fact, tonight there is an issue, a rezoning over in the eastern industrial zone that the council needs to decide on that involves Microsoft and the data center over there. As mentioned earlier today, there will be an issue possibly coming to you regarding additional land, 1,000 acres north of US 20, outside of the core development area that will be coming to you. And so we can't know what happened in this meeting. I trust that will be watched over very carefully. But of course, an outside adjudicator has to determine whether the spirit and intent, well, the intent of the law was taken in these matters. I think it would behoove you to hold these meetings in public, as inefficient as that might be, as time consuming as that might be, so that we can avoid conspiracy theories and other rumors and innuendo that exists when you meet in private. And I want to strongly encourage you to do so. If the companies don't like it, well, they can have representatives present to protect them from confidentiality. But I think you need to operate out in the open in transparent government. Thank you.
Mary, you're next.
Mary Finsterman, 52959 Timothy Road, New Carlisle. I agree with Mr. Caruso and Mr. Francis on what they just spoke on. And I also want to add with what Dan said about the comprehensive plan. There are many, it's not just the future land use map, the intensive ag. There's many, many comments within the comprehensive plan that was passed and voted on and passed by everybody. So there's many comments in there that refer to working with the town and the IEC, and there's many comments in there. So I hope everybody refreshes themselves on the comprehensive plan before anything is voted on with the 1,057 acres. It's very concerning that at a drainage board meeting not too long ago, there was talk of drainage with the exceeded amount for what is considered a safe withdrawal from the aquifer. And now there's even more talk of a data center coming in and more water being withdrawn. I don't understand it. Why are we paying for, we, the taxpayers, and you guys deciding to pay for studies and you're not going by them, or somebody's not saying, okay, we need to stop this. It's destroying our community and the voters do not want this. Thank you.
Anyone else online wish to offer a comment? If not, not really a correction, but Dan Caruso made us aware of the, the Drainage Board had received a request for a dewatering permit, and there's obviously errors in there. And we are, just so that people know, we have started to look at why that was made, and it will go back to the Drainage Board in a corrected version. So thank you for making us aware of that. Any other questions? If not, do we have a motion to recess?
Motion to recess?
Second?
Have a motion and a second. Commissioner Morton?
Aye.
Commissioner Baxmeyer?
Aye.
We are recessed.
Thank you.
Recording stopped.